So Shabbat Shalom again if you've joined us, either if you've joined us online or joined us up here on campus. I want you to think, again, if you're at home or here, I want you to think, and this is for everyone, grown-ups, kids, doesn't matter, think of the craziest dream that you can remember having, right? Sometimes you just wake up and it's like, whoa.
Don't share it.
Right, we don't
Just
need to
think of
know.
it inside your brain.
But just think about that, because we're going to spend a little time tonight together looking at a pretty kooky dream that appears in the Torah.
It's right there in this week's Torah portion.
Right there in this week's Torah portion. Some of us got to look at it a little this morning together. So the Torah portion, you heard, right, that I said before, Jacob leaves his home in Beersheba, and he's in the desert. That's where our people are. And he goes to sleep one night. I said earlier this morning, he goes to sleep like his head is on a rock instead of a pillow. Probably, like it's not a great night of sleep. And our Torah says these words, and those of you who are at home are going to be seeing this text along with, I think, an image from our own Mario Mueller of this ladder. That's a spoiler. And it says, Vayachalom v'hinei sulam. He had a dream, Vayachalom, he dreamt. And there was a ladder that was mutzav arza. It was set on the ground. It was sort of fixed on the ground. V'rosho magia shamayma. And the top of the ladder reached all the way up into the heavens. And then it says, V'hine malachei Elohim, there were angels, right? This is where it starts to get a little, maybe beyond what you might think.
It's trippy, is the technical term.
Yeah,
it's sort of this trippy kind of dream.
So there's these angels, and it says, Olim v'yordim bo. They were going up and down. And so, just so you know, a quick Hebrew lesson that Olim and Yordim are active verbs. They're present tense. Right? They're not that they did that or they're going to do it, but they're currently doing it. And so the sages take that to mean if it's not in the past and it's not in the future, it's currently happening. And the sages sort of take it to mean that it's always happening, they're always going up and down, and that they never entirely get where they're going. Right? No angel reaches all the way to the bottom of the ladder, and none reaches all the way up to the top. So we're setting the scene for this dream here.
Okay. So what I want to ask you, and we're going to do a little congregational participation.
This is sharing.
This
so you don't
is
share the dream.
Not the crazy dreams you've had, but this part we're going to share. So these angels, as Rabbi said, are going down and up and down this ladder. All of this is happening in Jacob's dream, in his imagination at night. I want you to think about, where do you think these angels are going? Like this up and down on the ladder. Where is that taking them? This is not a rhetorical question. This is a legit question. I'm going to do my Phil Donahue or my Sally Jesse, which all you kids, I know you've been watching that too. Who's got an answer? Where do you think the angels are going? This is for anyone here.
Any age. And also,
any age.
If you are at home and want to share an answer in the chat, we would love to hear from you also.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat or just scream. Just yell. Okay. Who's got an answer? Where do you think the angels are going? Okay, so Susan, say it a little bit louder so we can hear you.
They're going up and down to God.
Up and down to God. I hope you heard that at home because she's got a great accent. It's amazing. Okay, so the angels, the ladder's actually taking them up to heaven. And what do we got here? What do you think? Where are they going?
The angels are going up to get a message from God.
Oh, okay, so you're building on what Susan said. The angels are going up and down to heaven, but they're looking for a message. They want some sort of instructions maybe from God. You know, maybe God wants to tell us something, and so the angels are going to be that intermediary. Maybe one more answer, one more response, one more brave soul. Where do you think they're going? What? Hold on, wait, we got to get you. I mean, I got to do some movement here. Yeah. And I've got Andre helping me, so
Alan's
this is
really
good. Okay.
Yeah.
Another dimension.
Another dimension, like in the multiverse, like they're going.
No. We know that, like physics and relativity have shown, we have 6 other dimensions that are inaccessible to humans.
Oh, okay. So not the multiverse, not a different universe, but actually an entirely different. My head is blown right now.
Right,
I don't know if you can see this at home. It just blew up. Okay. So thank you everybody for those responses.
We also have Mike at home who agreed with the up to heaven idea.
Look at you. That's amazing. Okay, so, all right, so we don't know because the Torah portion doesn't tell us. The verses don't tell us exactly where those angels are going. But some of our sages who come later try to imagine that. And this is a text that Rabbi Sari found earlier today that I'm going to share with you. It's from Rabbi Chaim of Volition, who is a Hasidic teacher of the 19th century. She knows that I've got a soft spot in my heart. My family's from this region, so whenever I read one of these Hasidic masters, I feel like I'm going back to the old country. But this is what Rabbi Chaim of Volition says about where the angels are going, and really it's about us. So listen to this, and Roz, you can put up source number 2, but those of you in the sanctuary, just listen carefully, and I'm going to share these words, and we'll try to make sense of them. Our sages come to teach us that we should not think that because of our base material, that is, that we're just made out of carbon, we're just made out of dust and ashes, that we are like plaster on a wall, which for him was like nothing, just plaster on the wall. Don't think of yourself that way. Rather, this teaches us the ladder is stationed on the earth, and that represents Sinai, Mount Sinai, where we receive, according to our tradition, the Torah. And the top of the ladder goes all the way to heaven, which represents our soul's life, which is the highest sphere. And what Rabbi Chaim of Volition teaches then is that there are some souls who can ascend this ladder, as it were, all the way to God. They can go to the highest places that we can imagine, even higher than the angels can ascend. And they can cleave to God. That means they can connect to God, and they can connect to Torah. Now, what I love about this text is that it suggests, first of all, it starts, where's the base of the ladder, according to Rabbi Chaim of Volition? Let's see if you were listening. Those of you at home, you had the advantage of being able to see it. Where's the base of the ladder? Sinai. The base of the ladder is at the top of this mountain, which isn't the tallest mountain in the world.
Correct. There's a good story about that for Shavuot. Yeah.
Not the tallest mountain in the world, but spiritually, for us as Jews, the tallest mountain in the world. So that's where the base of the ladder is, which is very interesting because if you listen to the story itself, it says that he was going from Beersheba to Haran. Mount Sinai wasn't on the way. This is an imaginative kind of move. But the base of the ladder is at Mount Sinai, and then it goes all the way up to heaven. And what I love about this text is it suggests to us that we are capable of greatness. We are capable of ascending to the highest heights imaginable. It even says that we can go up higher than the angels, which I love. We have one more little passage we want to share.
So I want to give Lev his due because, so Lev said to us, maybe the angels are going up to sort of get a message from God to bring back down, which he's right in line with some of our thinkers. And this is, there's a text, I think it was from the late 80s, early 90s, it's around there, called The 5 Books of Miriam, which imagines different women in conversation with the text. And this imagines Queen Esther actually engaging with this text. So maybe we're in the multiverse now where Queen Esther is engaging with it. But she says, right, we have to remember that ladders go both, right, like just because there's a ladder there doesn't automatically mean you're going up. You might be on your way down. And I sort of love this, that when we leap up to reach the bottom rung of that ladder that reaches to heaven, right, when we start our climb, God lowers the ladder to meet our hand. And if we can't even get that, if we can't even make that first move, God is actually going to extend even lower to meet us where we are.
I love that.
And I think it's such a beautiful text that, yes, maybe it is God trying to send us a message, but we're also trying to climb up to get it.
I love that. And you can relate to that as a New York City woman because I think of that ladder that the fire escape ladder. Yeah. And someone's pushing it down. And then you're reaching up trying to grab it. But I love that.
I've never actually done that, let me be clear.
But we can imagine. We can imagine it.
Sure.
Or maybe it's West Side Story. I don't know. There's some scene where that happens. But the idea is that God is so wanting us to ascend that God's going to lower the ladder to us and help us. Thank you very much, Rabbi Sari. And I want to just invite everybody, as you think about that image and you think about that invitation, think about how imaginative we can be with the text. Because we start with this dream that Jacob has, and then the commentators through the generations play with that dream and they make it their own, looking at it in different ways. We can do the very same thing. God willing, we'll be able to ascend to the highest heights, even higher than the ministering angels. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.